The Future Development Agenda should build on the strengths of the Millennium Development Goals. This time around, we need and demand a truly shared agenda, shared by people, shared by nations. The United Nations is starting a consultation process to support member states in developing the post-2015 development agenda.
There are two objectives. The first is to try to support a participatory approach to the dialogue on post-2015, bringing in not just the different sources of expertise that exist in different places, but also citizens in countries who have strong perspectives and opinions on the sort of world that they want to live in. And second, to provide a space to discuss those critical, central issues for post-2015 and to try to develop a common discourse.
Citizens' voices must be counted on. We should, reach out to the unreached. Otherwise, the voices will be left out, which is certainly unfair.
In this globalized world, problems can no longer be neatly classified into those of developing countries and those of developed countries. It also means that policies made in some countries affect others. The new development agenda must reflect these realities.
The post-2015 agenda will really be a global agenda. It will not just be the North and the South. It will be taking into account the interaction that are taking place in several areas.
I think it's very important that we don't cut the world in half. It's a globalized world, so the major policies on labor, migration, for example, or the European Commission's agricultural policy, these are all intertwined with the appropriate policies needed for the developing world.
The first is that a global framework that included growth and employment could act as a sort of anchoring a set of global norms. So one of the things that we've seen, particularly in the sort of development debates, is a bit of a swing of the pendulum from, oh no, growth is the most important thing, to no, it's all about health and education and the social sectors. The second is a global framework could help to solve some tricky global problems that individual countries can't tackle on their own.
The interdependence has become more clear than ever before. We have seen great interdependence between the kind of policies pursued in the developed countries and the kind of policies pursued in Africa. So we'd like to see in the next round greater attention to policy coherence.
The overall outcome of decent and productive employment needs to be broken down into sub-elements which may be amenable to policy interventions and policy framework. And then look at possible indicators. For example, how much employment is being generated by manufacturing, trade, construction, services, and so on.
There is an important point of view that is related with the government. How to make this connection between this development agenda, this international framework, and this local implementation. Our governments have to deal with that reality. We must focus on public policy. What about if we put emphasis in access to health, in the quality of life of the people? That is public policy, and that is something that I can connect to budget and to evaluation.